So, Port Solent in Portsmouth have finally brought in parking restrictions, and this is for motorhomes and camper vans only. And honestly, I have a few thoughts on it. Now, before anybody jumps in the comments, I understand fully why they've done it. Over the past 3 years, me and Tracy have used it periodically and respectfully, staying like one night, going out to using the restaurants, going to the cinema, taking our granddaughter out, that kind of thing, and then moving on the next day. Now, it's always been a bit relaxed, I would say. There, you're supposed to ring up and book in with security. We did notice, and we have noticed rather, during the times we've used it, that people would get their camping chairs out. Sometimes they would fire up a barbecue. And it's a car park, it's not a campsite, right? And it was a free car park. And also staying for long periods of time as well. It's a popular park up for people using the ferry, and that's the main draw for people, is they could go there, park there for free, get their ferries the next day. The facilities there are literally non-existent. There's no water, there's no electricity, there's no chemical waste dump or anything like that. All you get is a bin, which is fine because it was free, right? You do get restaurants there's loads of different things, and like I said, a cinema as well. It is obviously private land, it belongs to them, so they can basically bring in whatever rules they want. I totally get that. So the new rules are you can only stay for 24 hours, you have to pay £10, camper vans and motorhomes only, cars are still free. It's actually £10.50 because you have to pay 50p to use the app as well, and that is from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. in the morning. How I feel about it, being a regular customer of Port Solent, and the fact that we never did abuse it, we just stayed the one night, went out, spent our money, left the next morning, feel a little bit discriminated against, as cars aren't charged for that either. So if I turned up in a car and wanted to go out for the evening, have a few drinks, I could sleep in my car, not a problem. But because it's a motorhome, there's a problem. You can argue that motorhomes take up more space, but there are certain spaces where you still only take up one bay because you can reverse over a grassy verge. So we have been in the position a lot of the time where we only taken up one bay as well. Now, usually when we stay there, it is a Friday night. We pick up our granddaughter from school, and not always, say sometimes, we would go to Port Solent. Maybe there's a film on that Macy wants to see, or we want to go out and have a meal. We park there, we can stay over the night, we have a good time, and then we leave the next day. The last time we stayed there was recently, I think it was last Friday. And as we were driving up, we thought, oh, there's hardly any vans here. There was like 4 vans in there. Usually it's quite busy on a Friday evening. And we drove in, that's when I spotted the sign. And I stopped, I was like, oh, we've got to pay now. Okay, let's go in and investigate. So I went in, investigated, and it said, you have to pay £10 if you're a camper van motorhome. We ummed and ahed it and said, oh, should we not stay here then? Or should we just see what's going on? So I went on the app, the Ringo parking app, and it said it is free to park at this time. Confusing, because there's a sign there saying it's not free, the app saying it's free. Another gentleman turned up in his van, and he's just as confused as me, looking at the sign, and I'm going, does your app say it's free at this time? And he said, give me a second, I'll just put it all in. And then he came over to my van and said, yeah, mine's saying the same thing. And I was like, okay, maybe they haven't brought it in yet, maybe it's not running yet, even though it does say on the website that it was active. Okay, so we left it at that. Went out for the meal, went to Wetherspoons, pretty empty. Usually you have to fight to get a table, and it was pretty empty. There's like 5 motorhomes and camper vans parked in the camper van motorhome area at this time. Usually there's, I don't know, 20 to 30. We did notice that people were driving in, seeing the sign, and then just turning around and driving out again. Anyway, we had our meal, got back to the van, settled down, and I thought, the app said free at this time. I bet it starts at 10 o'clock because the restriction is 10 till 6 in the morning. So I waited. We would have normally gone to bed before that, especially with the young one with us. So I waited up. 3 minutes past 10, went back on the app, and it let me pay. Which I don't know whether that's intentional, because if you arrive and you put it in and you expect to pay and it says it's free, then it doesn't say that it's, you know, you have to pay at 10 o'clock, if that makes sense. So it'd be very easy to get caught out with that. It's £100 fine. Like I said, we might have gone to bed before that and not done it, or you could have been out and not done it. So a little bit sneaky, I thought. I've been in other places where you can pay till the next morning regardless of when the restrictions are in, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So I didn't like that, but then nonetheless we paid the £10.50 the last time, first and last time. Now locally, in this, if you use Port Solent or thinking of using Port Solent, right round the corner from Port Solent there's Tesco. It's a huge Tesco's, massive car park, and they do overnight parking at an extra fee, and it's less than £5 for the night. You're basically getting the same facilities. It's just a car park and there's some bins, and that's it. And you can do that on your parking space app. We've done that a few times anyway. You've got McDonald's there, and you've got some other shops there, and you've got a Beefeater around the corner, and they are offering overnight parking for £3.50. So are Port Solent being a bit greedy? I don't know. You let me know. So our thoughts on this is we won't use Port Solent now. We only ever really use the Wetherspoons, and sometimes we use the cinema. We can still use the cinema because it's still free parking in the day, so if we want to take our granddaughter to the cinema, we can still do that, and we may still do that. But we won't be staying there overnight again, which means we won't be going out to the restaurants again. And I think a lot of people kind of had the same feeling by watching them drive in and drive out. I didn't get to speak to anybody else because there wasn't anybody there, really. Is this going to hurt the local businesses there? Maybe not in the summer, but maybe in the winter it might, you know. But from what we saw, and I know it's only just come in, it was pretty dead down there, and usually it's not. We're not angry about it, and I completely understand why they've done it, because some people did abuse it. This is what happens all the time. It only takes a few people to abuse a good thing, and it's taken away. One thing I think they could do is, fair enough, if you're going to park there purely just for somewhere to park to get your ferry the next day, and you're not going to venture in to the actual centre itself and use anything or spend any money, then fair enough, pay for parking for the night. If you're a customer and you're going to go in there and spend money in a restaurant, money in the cinema, whatever, buy, you know, there's shops there as well, buy things in that, I think if you've got a receipt, you should get a code to get free parking for that night. Still limit it to 24 hours totally, so people don't outstay, you know. I just think, you know, try and keep your customers rather than drive your customers away. I know that they're probably thinking, well, we just, you know, got enough customers coming in anyway. But as a customer, I just feel like a little bit kind of meh about it, you know. Anyway, that's the situation. So it's a bit of information for you. There is other places you can park. There is some free parking around as well, if you want to venture a little bit further away. So I am genuinely interested in what you think, especially if you've used Port Solent or you do use Port Solent regularly. I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts are. I think I could see what people's thoughts were as they were driving away. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair enough? Let me know in the comments. So final thought is, if there's a decent park up, don't take the mick. Just be sensible and follow the rules. Leave no trace, all that stuff, right? Don't ruin it for everyone. Anyway, enough said. Hope you liked the video. Do like, comment, subscribe and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.
We'll ride these roads forever. Side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and loving every turn we take. This thing called amazing race, no chance we'll break.